Hey guys, and welcome to the Outdoor Life. Today we're going to talk about how to swap out the charger and the DC circuit board of an 8955 PEC distribution center with an 8955 LIS distribution center's charger and circuit board. Just a quick warning here, you guys. Electricity is dangerous and can cause personal injury or death, as well as other property loss or damage if not used or conducted properly. If you have any doubts whatsoever about performing do-it-yourself electrical work, please do the smart thing and hire a qualified specialist to perform the work for you. This distribution center that is in the IBEX, and I believe the Nobos and probably several other Forest River trailers, comes from WFCO. It is an 8955 PEC, and the PEC is the real important part here. The PEC is designed and sold for lead acid charging only. It is not designed and it's not sold as a charger for lithium batteries. There's a lot of different reasons why you don't want to use a lead acid charger on a lithium battery. Not only will it void the warranty instantly, but it can do damage, and if it has an equalization mode, there could be a serious safety hazard there. Now, a lot of you guys out there are running the PEC distribution centers inside your trailers, and you are charging lithium batteries, but as 99.9% of all you said, you charge them up to about 70 to 80%, and then you use solar to top them off the rest of the way. So if you buy a $1,000 battery and you can only charge it up to say 70%, well, you're only getting $700 worth of use out of that $1,000 batteries, and that just seems kind of silly. Now, I looked online and I couldn't find the LIS charger and distribution board by itself. So what I did is on Amazon, I bought the LIS, the whole distribution center right here. I bought the whole thing, and then I pulled the charger out as well as the distribution board. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I did that. All right, guys, today is the pre-prep date. We're going to switch out the charge controller from a PEC to an LIS, so that way we can charge our lithium batteries properly. This new charge controller that you see right here is down here. It works off of this circuit board, and this circuit board is different than what you've seen in most of the videos. And the big difference is this switch that's right here. And this switch allows you to go through to lithium ion, which is Li, or lead acid, which is La, which is the default switch. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to swap out this circuit board as well as the charger that's down here. This is the AC side over here, and this is the DC side of the charger over here. So this is your two inputs here and here for the charger into the DC side of the board. I've already taken a bunch of photos of the distribution center inside the IBEX, so I know exactly the way it is, the way it's laid out, and we'll be able to match that to what we have over here. There is one 30 amp circuit down here, and the rest of them are 15. This board is a little bit different in layout of where these are at because of the switch, and these are turned around. So you have to be aware of that, but the wires are going to go into the same place. As far as the AC side is concerned, there's only one breaker that's going to come out of the AC side of the charger down here, and that's going to be this breaker here. So we're going to tie that in, but we have a photo of which breaker that is and where it goes. We also have a photo of all the colors of wires that are going in on the DC side, but we're going to go ahead and label them anyways so that we have a piece of paper that shows us what we're doing as well. Now, to get this circuit board out, it's pretty simple. So the board slides up into the top and then snaps down to the bottom. So there's a little snap right here, and all you do is just push that down, and that board pops right out. It's super, super easy. It's going to be a little bit more work with the wires all tied into it, but we're going to unhook most everything first before we pop it out of the controller. All right, now that we have the battery turned off and the solar panels covered up, we need to take a look and see if there's any leftover voltage in here that needs to be checked. So we have all the breakers on and we have all the fuses in. So we're going to start with the DC side. Make sure your voltmeter's on DC. Come in and go from the ground to the hot, nothing, to the hot, nothing, and just to double check, nothing, nothing, and nothing. All right, now switch your meter over to AC, check the AC side. So in this case, this is my 30 amp breaker, so this is my feed to the bus bar. So we're going to start with the bus bar itself, and we have nothing. And then we're going to check our feed, we have nothing. Even though these are on, I wanted to make sure that we have nothing. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and turn these off. Ooh, look how loose that one was. So that one was really, really loose. We have to double check and see what that was for, but those are things that you want to look at. The other thing that I noticed is that right here, look at these bolts. These are about to fall out. So these have jiggled, they're loose. Now, they possibly can go down into here somewhere, but even these over here could actually touch across multiple contacts. So one of the things that we did on our other one is made sure that these were all tight, but we're going to go through and tighten these up too as well. So now let's pull our fuses. I'm going to start with the 40s, then the 30 on the bottom. This is our feed, and then the individuals. All right, we'll set these aside. Now the next thing I'm gonna do, which is not necessary, but for me, it's just my OCD, I'm gonna label all these DC wires since we're actually taking them apart. So that was so loose in there, it could actually cause a fire. The rest of these are pretty tight. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and pop this bus bar out. I'm gonna take off my main leads right over here. I'm gonna leave these on, I'm gonna pop it out, and then I'm going to go ahead and label these 1 through 7 on the DC bus bar. Now I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the charger from the AC side. Tighten these back up. Loosen my neutral. Take out these 2 screws. And the charger should slide right out. Just like so.
There are clips in the back of here that this slides into. You want to make sure that you get them into the clips before you actually tighten it down, so you can just lift up on either side. Also, this one came with a pigtail. I'm not exactly sure what it's supposed to go to yet. Before I post this video, I'll find out and I'll put it in there. I suspect it's just for a sensor of some kind, but it's not necessary for what we're doing. Make sure this is super tight. Make sure that's super tight, unlike that one, which we are going to replace. We're not able to salvage that. All right, that's it for our AC side. Ooh, look at that. What is that? There's part of the reason why right there. So it's all busted up. So we're going to leave that just like that for now. Now I'm just going to double check and make sure that everything on the new board is relatively in the same position as the old one. So negative, negative, VCC, VCC. These are all written on here. You can see right here, like it says up at the top here, it says negative, VCC, positive down here. So right here, this one says this is the 30 amp. And then on the old one, it says right here, this is the 30 amp. So I just wanted to make sure everything was the same. And as you can see here, we have two wires that are the same colors. So had I not numbered these, even though they're a little bit different sizes, I could have gotten that one wrong. But now that they're numbered, I'll get them right. All right, this charger, has a switch right here. Like I said earlier, Li for lithium, La for lead acid, but this particular one also has this cable that has to be plugged in over here. The one that we took out did not have that. All right, so that's everything except for this breaker right here. Everything's back into place. Everything's snapped in tight. And now we're going to put in our fuses here in a few minutes. We've got everything turned off. We want to slowly turn power back on and see what we have. But I'm going to replace this real quick first. Well, they have tightened this one so tight. They're probably using power tools to do this, and now I can't even get it off, so I'm going to have to clip it off. I barely have enough in there. Okay, I went ahead and picked up 3 because if that one was so tight and it was damaged that I couldn't get it open, if something else fails, I wanted to make sure that I had enough to replace it. So 2 of these are going to go in my toolbox. I also brought a small file. I'm not sure if there's a burr or something on that in there, so I'm just going to touch it up a little bit. Maybe that was what caused it to do that, and then I'm going to put it in. Oh, look at that. Nice and tight and perfect. Wow, they do not give you much room for wire in here, but that's okay. So now that we have everything shut down and everything is reinstalled, we're going to go ahead and start turning things on one bit at a time. Right now we're still on lead acid, so my switch is still on lead acid. I'm going to, once I get everything on and switched over and tested, then we'll shut everything back down and swap out the lead acids for my lithium. But I want to make sure that one step at a time everything's working before I go to the next step. And that includes DC and AC. And remember, my solar is still covered up, so there's no juice coming down from up there, even though it's unplugged at the battery. So everything's turned off, everything's plugged back in, everything looks really good. All my wires are in the proper order. All right, let's do this. All right, we have everything powered back in. All of our breakers are still off. Let's make sure we have juice. Okay, we're good there. $13.7. $13.7. Okay, we have AC juice, we have DC juice. We did have to turn the charger on to get our DC stuff, and everything's working fine. So we're going to turn all this stuff on. We're going to wait on this. Give me a second. Let me find out what this was before I turn it back on so I can double check it and I know what's going on with that. All right, so that last one is our vacuum cleaner, which is right here. So we're going to go ahead and turn this a little bit. Go ahead and turn that on. And open the vacuum. All right. So everything so far is working good. I'm going to pull the phone and we're going to look at some of the apps and make sure that everything's charging the way it's supposed to. And we've got power coming in the way it's supposed to everywhere.